Good morning, everybody. This is Todd with the Forex Nitty Gritty Insiders daily video. We're at the beginning of another week here and coming into the end of August. Most summer vacations are getting done with, and so we might see the markets become a little bit more deliberate in their movements as traders get back to trading. We're going to look here today at what's going on from the daily perspective and kind of get us an idea of the direction that we may want to focus in on with our trading. Now, when we're talking about the rules, setup conditions for the simple trading method, there's several things that we're going to focus in on. One is what is the trend of the pair. In this case, we're looking at the Aussie dollar daily time frame. Second, we're going to try to identify areas of support or areas of resistance, or both, in order to look for opportunities to trade. Now, if we're going to go buy or go long the pair, we want the trend to be up, and we want to be near support. If we're looking for opportunities to sell, then we want the trend to be down, plus we want to be near a resistance area. And so those are the things that we're going to look to identify. Now, whether we trade the daily chart or not, we still want to know where we are in relationship to those things so that we can trade them in the proper direction. So we'll begin here with the Aussie dollar, and this one's pretty clear, I think, that the trend has been moving up. And what we'll look for are what is happening with the swing lows that are being put into place and what's going on with the highs that are going on as it moves higher. And you can see here that we meet the criteria for the pattern that we're looking for an uptrend, which is higher highs and higher lows. Now, the reverse would be true if we were looking at a downtrend. We'd be looking for lower highs and lower lows. Each one of these swing lows can be areas of support. Each one of these swing highs can be areas of resistance. Although just because we have a swing high or a swing low doesn't mean that those areas necessarily are going to be strong areas of support or resistance. They're just going to be areas where we might see that. Now, as we look back, we would prefer to look in areas like this where we had the price acting as a resistance multiple times. And if we carry this forward, you can see that it's kind of right in this area where we're sitting right now, which old resistance becomes new support. So with all of this information, as we look at the Aussie dollar, we would consider the fact that the price may be getting ready to bounce up off of that support area back in the direction of the trend. Now, the other thing we can do is put a moving average on here, and we're going to see that that's going to be pretty close to where it's sitting at right now. If we were going to trade this, we have to then identify the HH3, which in this case, the highest high of the last three is going to be right there. So it'll be a little ways before that gives us an opportunity to get into it, but nonetheless, we know kind of where that area is, where the momentum is beginning to move back in the direction of that trend. Now, once we understand the support, resistance, the area where it's trending, then we can go down to a shorter time frame. So if we wanted to go down to a 15-minute chart, we could then look for opportunities to trade this as it begins to move back in the direction of that trend. So as we look at the daily time frames, we're going to get quite a bit of information that's going to help us in our trading in the shorter time frames. So let's go to the euro dollar. Now with the euro dollar, you can see something quite a bit different. The trend is very much the opposite of what we saw happening on the Aussie dollar, and we're really sideways here. Look how tight this range is. And so we're going to be very careful when it comes to taking long trades on here because of the overall downward trend that we have on the euro dollar. And then the pound dollar is going to be a little bit different also. You know, we've got more of a consolidation here. Really not a lot of opportunity here to take the trade in the long direction or the short direction until we get some type of a breakout of this tight support and resistance areas. So in addition to knowing when to trade, looking at the daily charts will give us an idea of when we shouldn't be trading. We have the US Japanese yen starting to break out. What we'd want to see is this testing support now and then showing us that it's going to be able to move in this upward direction because we have had such a strong downtrend. We want to see some evidence that it's getting ready to change. US Swiss franc a little more bullish, although we are very similar to our contraction that we saw on the euro dollar, which would make sense because these are inversely correlated. So we look for a breakout of those. And last but not least, we've got the US CAD, which is in an extremely strong downtrend. And so we need to see a little bit of pullbacks here, waiting for this thing to relax and get back in a more deliberate type of a pattern for movements. So that's kind of what's going on in the daily charts. Take some time to review those, draw your support resistance, make sure you understand what it is that you're looking at. And of course, if you do have questions about any of that, feel free to let us know and we'll get those questions answered for you. So until tomorrow, everybody have a fantastic day and we'll talk to you soon.